Oh my god. Hi and hello everyone. Hope you're all doing well. It's time for an EP review of this Skrillex EP, Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites. Now, this was the first project from the legend producer Skrillex, or at least in my eyes and ears. Skrillex, formerly known as Sonny Moore, came through with a EP that was controversial when it comes to its sound, or at least when it comes to like the very critical reception some people thrown at it at the time. Like I distinctly remember some people calling it, "No, bro, this is not dubstep. Is this what EDM has come to? This is not real music." It's crazy in hindsight, but I guess it was pretty understandable given the fact that it was very off kiltered, very ahead of its time in hindsight. But then again, Skrillex was definitely doing something that wasn't really done before, at least not with electronic music. Like, by the time the late 2000s rolled around, electronic music wasn't really mainstream just yet, at least not until EDM and pop fusion of those two genres would really take over the music industry. If you remember acts like Pitbull, Afrojack, Tiesto, Florida, like they were pretty much all riding this wave, also including David Guetta. And as Skrillex was really diving into like this EDM space, he was like, I guess like at the time, for its time, really experimenting with very bass heavy beat drops and synth leads. As he was expressing these tracks that's on this EP over here, like through MySpace, and he created this, or at least this EP, alongside the Dutch electronic music trio Noiza. When it comes to like the material on this album, or like at least my enjoyment of it, it's very pretty much positive for the most part. It's really because of tracks like Rock and Roll, I Will Take You to the Mountain, which was a song I have always heard for the longest time since the early 2010s. But when I found out that this was the home of that track, I was pretty much sold on this EP. And it's really because of how of its time and ahead of its time it really sounded. And it might have like a bit of like a modern touch for it when it came out. But I would also say that this record was pretty influential, like at least when it comes to like the internet space, or else even some aspects of like the music industry. Like I would think about some artists such as Violet Pony, which she came out with Antonym a few years back. Like the very synth lead, very bass heavy, a lot of progressive house elements to it as well. And of course the title track was like the quintessential track for dubstep, and as well for Skrillex, because if you know Skrillex as like an artist, you would know that this is the first song that comes up. A lot of vocal chops and samples with a beat drop that showcases hazy and bass heavy sound. Kill Everybody also kind of matches that tone, but like in a more like lower level, but still like very scattered all over the place, with a lot of instrumental chops. And All I Ask of You changes the pace with more melodic house, and it keeps its groove going throughout the entire track, as it's a lot more smooth than the rest of the record. Like after like the first 4 tracks of this EP, it pretty much dives into a dip in quality, specifically with tracks like Scatta, which honestly sounds like a headbanger, but it feels like so much all over the place while I'm literally bobbing my head to it so hard, I'm literally probably going to fly across the room. The instrumentation for me personally, it doesn't sound as fun as the title track. It does, almost as if it kind of does too much, which is kind of probably an example of Skrillex's music or experimentation on the record, even to be more off kiltered. And now of course with You Friends, another track on here, really also is another track that changes the pace of the EP. More vocal chops, this time with more smooth synths and piano. Feels like a closer to the EP, but it's not a close to the EP, if you get what I'm saying. Because after this we get some remixes, like for just 2 tracks, and these remixes are fine. They really add nothing to the experience for me, because I don't really care for remixes when it comes to adding remixes to a song I already know, unless it's on its own project or whatnot. So yeah, overall, I love this project. I tend to come back to this project all the time, and yeah, I guess I'll leave it there. I'll give it a B+ for this, and yeah, I'm gonna see y'all later.